I competed in one of the hardest Red Bull events with no experience. It's a mile-long course with swinging axes, laser mazes, custom obstacle courses, and so much more. This is a competition with over 200 teams in 50 different countries from around the world. But before we get to that, I still have to meet my insane teammate who I was randomly partnered up with. Then after that, we have to go through some crazy training for the obstacle course, fly from LA to Ibiza, and then finally compete in Ibiza Royale. I definitely didn't see this already and then coming here and playing this out. Today, we are leaving the country. We are going to Ibiza. Well, maybe not today, but I've heard rumors that this course is Damn. I've heard rumors that this course is absolutely insane. No one has seen it. They're not even allowing us to practice on it days prior, so we kind of have to just see it and go, and it's almost a mile long. So today we're gonna prepare for that. So then I got on the bus where I got to meet Team USA to go to this place called Red Bull Boot Camp. And this is where I met my teammate. All right, y'all, my teammate is finally here.
Hey, I'm Corey.
And we're finna go out and experience the Red Bull...
Ibiza Royale training.
Red Bull Ibiza Royale training. Let's do it. Then we got our pep talk for boot camp as to what to expect next, and it was not easy. First up was stretching. So we started off by doing some spine rolls, and I was not having the time of my life with this one. Then we went on to do these breathing exercises, and I was not sure what these poses had to do with the obstacle course, but hey. Then we went on to do some more of these poses, and trust me, this was getting really intense. You can tell by the look of my face. But no, seriously, things actually kind of got crazy. Like, I don't know what this pose we're doing. We're supposed to be doing clockwise points with our toes, and I'm struggling over here, and my teammate seems like she's having the time of her life. Like, actually, I was dying. I was cramping so bad on this next workout. I can't. That was horrible, and I never want to do that again. I've learned I'm not flexible in a lot of parts of my body. What did you think of that?
It was insane. I was cramping everywhere, literally everywhere.
Yeah, me too, bro. My hips, I need to work out my hip flexors a whole lot more. But now we're finna do some high intensity workouts, so let's get right into that. So next up was the high intensity cardio, and this is where things were a lot more in my lane. I kind of ran through this like a breeze. Well, at least the first half I did. This is already getting hard. There was more goofy poses and running, and me and my teammate were honestly killing this. We had it all in the bag. That was until the warm-up ended. This is where the instructor had one person doing lunges while the other one did sprints. Although we may make this look really easy, we had to switch between this every 30 seconds with only 15-second breaks in between. And we had to do this 3 times each. All right, Corey, what are we thinking about that last course right there?
I didn't have an asthma attack, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I did well.
You did, you're doing pretty good.
Sprinting.
That was pretty goddamn good. That was a good workout. Now we got an obstacle course. I'm super excited for that. I think that one will be the easiest of all this, to be honest. Hopefully. Let's crush it. Now on the obstacle course, they had us pick up and throw down this weighted ball 5 times each. And then we had to do 5 really fast box jumps, run up and over this wall, and then push this weight back and forth twice. All before getting on this balance beam, where Corey actually ended up falling, but then she had to run it back. Then we had to do these pull downs until the number said 100. But Corey actually mistakenly thought it said 65, so she stopped early. No! And this ended up affecting our time in this little race. Good job anyways. No joke, man. That was a lot harder than I thought it would be. So we ended up finishing the obstacle course in 2nd place. Next up, I had to mentally prepare myself for my first ice bath. And as you can see, I kind of just hopped in. I wish I could say the same for Corey, because honestly, it's a whole lot better if you just jump in. And while Corey was freaking out, I had to stay locked in. My goal was to try to survive 3 minutes. We're killing it. I can't. I can't. Let me explain to you what happened. Essentially, I pushed it out. Nothing special about it. I did start to get pins and needles in my hand. I beat my score. My goal was to do at least 30 seconds, and they said I did 2 minutes. So I beat my expectations. That's for my first cold plunge. I think 2 minutes is perfectly fine. We did what we had to do, baby. After finishing boot camp, I boarded my flight to go out to Ibiza. I was so busy reminiscing about the night I had before with Team USA. And all I was thinking is, man, there's no way it can get better than this. And little did I know, it was definitely gonna get better than this later on in this video. And after a long 12-hour flight, I finally arrived in Ibiza. And I got to see where I was gonna be sleeping for the next few days.
Oh my gosh, whoa. Oh my gosh. Nah, we got a balcony. Ibiza!
Chad, we have officially made it to Ibiza. Let's go check it out.
Who thinks they're gonna make it into the top 20?
I'm making it. If I don't make it, I'm gonna be really sad. Cut back to this moment later on in the video when I win. It'd be really awkward if I just didn't win.
3, 2, 1.
And after partying super hard last night, it was time to mentally prepare myself for the pre-course day. Basically, how good we do today is where we'll start in the real course tomorrow. So let's go meet our competition.
Y'all ready to kill it? Y'all ready to kill it, man? Looking good, looking good. We got your boy, Shaquan, 44. He's going right before us. How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I feel good.
You feeling great? You finna get it?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, check it. Hey, check it, Chad. Yo, you know what I'm saying?
That's our competition today. You got this shit. Good luck, man.
Hell yeah.
Feeling great.
I heard you were doing flips last night in the
I
middle
was
of the
doing
circle.
all kinds of stuff
going
last night.
crazy.
I don't even know what I was doing last night. If you can put your money on everybody here,
This is hard.
anyone from here, who would you put your money on?
This is hard. So
And I
who
tell
would I
you what,
tell?
all feelings aside.
All feelings aside.
All feelings aside.
No hard feelings.
Like if you have to put down, like you have 100K on the line,
100K on the line.
Who are you putting at
100K
to
right
win?
now so I can take PTO. Gotta go.
God damn
After meeting some of the competition, we made our way to the pre-obstacle course to see it for the very first time.
No, it's crazy because I'm the only Atlanta person out here.
I'm technically Atlanta too. I was out there with you.
Yeah, you're right.
I was out there with you.
Yeah.
All right, Chad, we
Helps
are
me
up
to know that you
next.
have nerves because you don't seem like you have nerves, but I got nerves.
And just like that, we were up next for the pre-course. For the first hard challenge, we had the monkey bars.
Let's go, Corey. Come on.
Then we had to get over this net wall.
Oh my god.
Let's go, Corey. Up. Come on.
Then we had to run across these beams and then jump and hold on to these pillars. After making this jump, you have to do a full sprint all the way down until you finish down the finish line. So after all that, we placed 12th out of the 250 teams who participated in the pre-course today. We had free time, so I went out and did a little bit of side activities.
All right, Chad, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 people. We got 4 people right now. Not only me, but Shaquan. We're gonna clear this easy. Let's get it. Oh yeah!
We had an entire day to just film content with a bunch of other creators, and that's exactly what we did. We also had the opportunity to take four-wheelers and go on a ride on that. And maybe doing all these collabs wasn't the best idea because the next day I woke up feeling sick. I just woke up the morning of competition day and I feel sick. I don't know if this is from all the partying I've been doing, all the screaming, but I actually feel so sick. Regardless, I still got up. We walked down to prepare to compete in the Ibiza Castle.
All right, guys, today is officially game day, and this is a mile-long course.
Let's go.
How we
I'm saying we gonna kill it, man. You already know. My viewers already know. We just gonna kill it out here, bro.
I'm nervous, excited. I'm nervous, excited.
I feel calm. I'm in my ultra instinct presence right now. You know, I do sound a little bit sick, but trust me, I'm good. I'm fine. Deep breaths. I know I'm good because I'm in the presence of you. And I know you're not gonna let anybody down. I know you're gonna do really good. I know we're gonna do really good together as a team. So regardless, at the end of the day, it don't matter if we win, it don't matter if we lose. As long as we tried our best, that's what matters. We got this.
We're a team, we got this.
We got this.
And after my final prep talk and being cheered on by Team USA, we were finally up next. We were finally all set to do the mile-long Ibiza Castle course. One thing to keep in mind is I had to stay near my teammate and make sure she's good because she has asthma. And on top of this being a mile-long uphill course, we also had 9 obstacles we had to conquer. And here's our first obstacle, the laser string maze. This one wasn't too hard. Really, all it was is just getting through the tricky strings. This was probably the easiest obstacle throughout the entire course. Then we had to do some uphill running, but by this point, Corey was already gassed. Then we went on to our next obstacle, which was the spinning discs. This one wasn't too difficult, but this is where we actually got our first penalty because Corey didn't hear the instructor say you were not allowed to step on the blue mat. So they ended up giving us a 1-minute deduction for both of us, and you'll see a little later in this video how that ended up coming in clutch. Then, on the way to the third obstacle course, we had to do some more uphill running until we finally made it to the push pin wall. Now, this is actually a tricky obstacle course. You have to push one of the pins out so your teammate can grab it, and your teammate has to push another pin out so you can grab it and follow behind them. You have to try not to fall into the foam blocks below.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
Then it was more uphill running, but you can clearly see that Corey's asthma was starting to get to her. So while she took a few pumps of her inhaler that she brought with, I went on to do the door jump by myself. Oh yeah, and these guys get to throw balls at me while I tried to balance across this beam and jump through the door. And as I flew through the door, Corey was up for the same treatment. I honestly couldn't believe how well she was doing, especially for someone who has asthma. And considering we had a lot more obstacle courses to go, she was holding on really well. Now that we're about halfway done with the course, it was time for the swinging axes. Now, because the axes were swinging so slow, I actually thought this was a great time to actually walk through the course instead of running, because we had been running up until this point the entire course. So this was my strategy for us to catch our breath and also get through the course at the same time. Then we went over to do the monkey bars, all while catching our breath. And then we had a couple more jumps and a balance beam, all while strategically catching our breath to prepare for the next course. And that next course was the dark tunnel. You're basically just walking downstairs in pitch black while they spray a little bit of mist on you. And this is really cool because we got our chance to finally cool down for the first time in the race.
Oh, yeah.
And since we're nearing the end of this course, I want to give a quick shout out and thank you to Red Bull for inviting me and making the 13-year-old version of me proud. This has always been a dream of mine to compete in a Red Bull course, and I finally got to do it at the age 23, 10 years later. But anyways, now that we're done with the slip and slide, we have 2 more obstacles left in this run before we complete the final challenge. But you're going to want to stay tuned to the very end. There's a crazy twist that you guys are going to want to see. After many trials and tribulations throughout this entire mile-long uphill course, we did it. We finally made it to the very last obstacle course, the slippery slopes, which ended up being not slippery at all, so I kind of just dropped the rope and ran up. But we finally did it. We made it to the finish line, baby. Superheroes have finally completed the Red Bull Ibiza Royale. Now, we ended up placing 63rd right here. But here's where things get really interesting. Remember in the beginning where I said that deduction was going to come in clutch? Our Red Bull representative went and complained to staff that Corey was not aware of the deduction you'd get from stepping on the blue mats. And on top of that, they gave an extra deduction to me on accident. But after removing these 2 deductions, our official time went down to 9 minutes and 30 seconds, all the way to top 18th, which means we had made top 20 out of 250 teams. So this means we had to do the entire course again, but this time the course had a couple tweaks to make things a little bit harder. Although we were both completely exhausted and worn out, it was time to run it back. Now, leading up to our first obstacle, the twist for this one is that we actually had to get through it with our arms strapped together. And joining us on this run, funny enough, is actually our cameraman. And during the climb, we actually got tangled up a little bit, but we weren't gonna let this slow us down.
Wait, you go first. You go first. Go first.
To avoid confusion, Corey came up with a quick plan to allow me to go first and her to follow. Quick thinking like that is what allowed us to get through this first course with no time wasted. And even though all these obstacle courses coming up next have different twists, we still had to do the mile-long uphill run again. And it wasn't only us, the cameraman had to do it too. But that was all his decision, trust me. After 25 meters of running uphill, we finally made it back to the spinning discs. But this time they're spinning the other way, and Corey remembered to not step on the blue mat, which was huge for this run. And then there was more brutal uphill walking and running until we finally made it to the third obstacle. Now the twist with this one is that there was actually fewer pins to push for your teammate, but we got through this one really easy. Then there was more uphill running until we finally made it back to the doors, but the twist with this one is that only one of these doors were real. And lucky enough for me, I got through on the first try. And as you can see, I was very happy about that. Next up, me, Corey, and Aiden were running back over to the swinging axes with the rest of the twists that they had coming up. Now, we used the first strategy as we did on the first run to get through this, which is kind of just walk and take our time through here so that we can catch our breath, as my teammate does have asthma. But I made sure this time that we got through it, that I made sure to get a little bit flashier for the pictures. The camera's watching, so you know I had to look good. Then it was back over to the dark tunnel, but this time, the twist, I guess they made it scary? Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one, but the tunnel did get very much darker and a lot more narrow as it went on. And if you have claustrophobia like me, this would genuinely freak you out, but I got through it anyways. Next up, we had to slip and slide again. The only twist with this one is that it was super cold up outside this time. But that didn't stop Aiden from going down anyways with my camera in his hand. But anyways, Corey with the inhaler in her hand got so much speed down the slide that she actually ended up slipping onto the concrete. And Aiden was right behind her as well with my camera in his hand. So we did the final stretch, the final run to finally make it. This was actually broadcasted live and everyone was watching our run the entire time we went. But even with our falls, we pushed through to the very, very end. And if you know anything about me, I'm going to flip anytime I get the chance to, especially when the camera's around.
Yes, sir.
Go, baby.
But after all was said and done, things still weren't over. We had to find out what position we placed out of the top 20, and I had to go and give my love to Team USA for supporting me throughout this entire trip.
My team right here has asthma. She did absolutely insane. Good pace, consistent with the pace. That's all we wanted. And I don't even know how we're here, but we are. We're here.
If you're happy with your score, I want a backflip. Your score is 11.1!
That's right, Team Superheroes finished overall in the top 20 at 18th place with 11.1 seconds. But that doesn't mean that the fun is over.
Alright, well yeah, if you can't tell, I am entirely dead. Shout out Ibiza, shout out Red Bull. Subscribe, also YouTube thinks you'll like this video right here. Check it out while I finish walking to the hotel.